Thought I'd do a little follow-up on the flooding video that I did the other day. This is the creek as it normally is. And if you remember, I think I was standing about right here. I'll try to get some before-after pictures and talking about these two trees here that were totally submerged. And then we normally go down in the creek here. So this is probably a good 10 feet right here deep. Because this is normally a big bank. Come here, Charlie. Don't get in there too far, buddy. Current might take you. But you see the depth of this bank. That's probably there, I don't know, good 4 or 5 feet. And the water was up, totally over that. We have a fence that goes across there. That kind of survived, but I'll show you some of our other fence crossings that weren't so lucky. That one down there kind of survived too. This is a property line, so we share the creek with some neighbors, so the fence kind of meanders back and forth across the creek, so our animals have access to the water, and so do theirs. They don't happen to have any animals right now, but that's just the way the fence line is. But you can see up here where all of the water was up there, just running right through. So it was pretty high. And again, this is where I walked that day, just down through here, that the water was just running. And this is normally dry past the fence line. And this was all flooded down through here. So we'll go on down the creek a little bit and look at the other areas. Here's another area where I was standing the other day and showing you guys. This was totally overrun here, and so was this. And there's the bridge that I was talking about. Now remember from the other video, you could not even see this bridge. The water had come here and covered it up. Okay, maybe you can see the fence line right there. That is normally out of water, and I have a bridge that goes across this little creek that comes down, the tributary, that we usually go across it, but it's all underwater right now. All of this. I didn't know if it was going to survive or not, but it did. We call this our Dr. Seuss bridge because it's made out of a couple of logs that oak logs that have fallen. I put across there, and obviously they're not flat, but then it's got oak boards on it. But it works great for the ATVs and stuff to go across, and the golf cart, no problem. But now look at this. We got, I don't know where these trees came from, but, and again, if you remember, this was up to the bank here and totally across here. But this is another fence crossing, and it didn't fare as well. I don't know where these tires came from. There are no tires anywhere that I knew of up and down this creek, and they just washed down from somewhere. And I guess they caught on the fence that went across here and just tore it down. So it's a good thing that we don't have the animals in here right now, because I would be down here having to repair this fence crossing here. But I will come down and we'll just string some more barbed wire across. You can see where it broke it here off of the tree. This thing, whoa, look out. Pretty rotten. Again, not sure where that came from. May have fallen out of some of the trees and then washed down. But yeah, these tires, don't know where they came from. But then all this was underwater up through here. See if I can walk on this bank without falling in myself. All this was underwater. Got a nice big rock bar here now. This didn't used to be here. My brother would probably like this. He likes to go panning for gold. This rock shoal here might be a good place to look. Looks like we got some more trash here that washed down. And my fence crossing here, I'm going to have to look at repairing too. I think those tires made it through here too. Yeah, it ripped it apart. I'm going to have to repair that, but not too bad considering. You can see all the rubbish that's on that fence there. All of this was underwater where I'm standing, so this would have been pretty deep here too. Big sandbar here, so a lot of sand washed down through. Normally there's not that much sand. Look at the fence here. Now this is 4 or 5 feet tall, just the fence post, and all this debris that's caught up on it. And then all the way up here. And then if you remember, all of this was underwater here. You can see where it washed. Here we got a couple other pieces. So maybe these pieces fell out of the trees and just washed down. So here's another shot that I did the other day when it was raining. I was standing here, and all of this, kind of where you see the green where there's no leaves, it was all underwater down through here. And again, I'll see if I can clip a kind of a shot from that day in with this day. Don't know how well it'll blend together, but give you some idea of how severe the flooding was. Well, here we are down at the area that we did so much work to be able to put our fence in. For the most part, it held up well. This is the area that was just totally full of water. Washed a lot away, but that's to be expected. And it looks like it was because of, again, a bunch of debris just clogged up here. We have some things here to keep the animals from getting through under there. So it caught anything that came down through. And it did pretty well, though. This held pretty good. You know, we had some grass coming up too, and unfortunately the storm came before the grass could get fully established. There's still some whispers of it here, but a lot of it just got washed away. Up here on the top, there's still quite a bit of grass, and over on the bank there's still some grass. It held pretty well, and we didn't get much erosion down this bank. I didn't know how that would do, but what happened here, and again, I'll try to include some clips from the video when it was actually raining and washing. The water was coming out of this pipe so forcefully that it came all the way around, and then before it would turn and go down the hill. So the water was shooting out all the way over here, and you can see that it pretty much just blew this all out. That is amazing. Well, it looks like our little gravel, our little rock area held pretty well, but with all this rain, it just kind of washed it away. Oh man, we've got a huge amount of wash right there. So much for all of our nice landscaping and grass that was coming up. But at least I know the pipe is working like it should. Get out through here. But it did its job up there. It all looks good. Everything held well. Here where we had the rocks here, it held this well. The water came down through here and down. That held pretty good. But once it got down here, a lot of this just washed out, which was unfortunate. I didn't realize we would have that much force of water. But the storm we had was, I don't know, not once in a lifetime or once in 100 years, but it was a bad storm. It eroded a big hole out there, washed the gravel out. We had that pipe embedded in gravel. A lot of the gravel wound up there. But all in all, I think it held pretty well. We got that big pile of dirt that I had him leave there. I can take my little tractor and come back and kind of contour this a little bit. What I wanted to be able to do was be able to mow down here when the grass gets high. So I can still do that. And again, the grass held pretty good here. And even here where it washed out, you can see the grass kind of held on here a little bit. There's some wisps of grass that held on in there. So maybe that'll come back. But for the most part, it did pretty good. Held in there pretty good. All right, well, that is just my recap of the storm damage. Hey, there's the donkeys and the horses up there hanging out. Recap of the storm damage from what we had the other day. I appreciate all of the comments and concerns that everyone had after I showed that video. Everybody was like, wow, man, you're going to have a lot of damage and a lot of cleanup. Fortunately, it's not a whole lot of damage or cleanup. One of the things, I've already fixed it now, but one of the things that I was really surprised about was the fence, particularly here where this is fill. You know, we moved all this dirt in and filled this, so this was all fill dirt down the fence line here. I guess it just wasn't compacted very well, and it sunk in a little bit. You can see kind of there's a dip in the fence there, and it also got so wet with the rain, and we had such heavy winds, it really blew that fence down. Not down all the way, but it blew it over. I had to come back in and push all of that back up and straighten it back up. And again, that's just because the fence had not had time to sit. I'm just backfilling the poles with dirt and packing them. The rest of the fence that had been in for a while down through there, all the other fence around the house survived without issue, but it was just the new part here that had just been put in and hadn't had time to get settled in well. And there's no, you can see there's no trees here, so the wind just really came across. That's south that way, so it was coming from south. If you remember the weather storm, it's coming from like southwest up, that's north, and this is east here, so it was coming just right this direction with the wind and pushing this way, so it really pushed on the fence. And there's no trees in this section here to really break the wind, so this fence caught a lot of brunt of the weather, but it survived. We got it back up and it'll be okay. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the kind words and concerns and comments. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Helps out a lot. Give the video a thumbs up. Tell me that you like it. I'll do some more like this. Until next time, we'll see you again on Thistle Hill Farmstead.